welcome back to the channel. This is Naomi Chiri Salgado. I came up with this very basic, very simple project that you could create. You can do this with any shape or size of canvas that you have. I originally recorded this as one long tutorial, but it just got too long, so I broke it into 3 parts. And this is the last part. And so today we're going to finish putting the tree on our painting and just checking it, make sure our painting looks good, and also cleaning the palette and brushes. So let's get going. You have to keep in mind where the sun is not reaching, it should be dark. So each of these branches are going to need to get painted twice in effect. To really be able to do that, you're going to have to come through with your light color and then come again with your dark color. And this never happens in nature, where this big chunky part is bigger than the thing that holds it up. So I'm gonna have to fix that for sure. That's doable. This is gonna need a lot more girth to it. This is a big old granddad tree. I like using a knife because it does things that you maybe aren't in full control of, and then I kind of like that feeling a little bit, because then you're like, oh yeah, that's good. But if you are not that kind of person wherein you really like to be in control of every movement, then this maybe isn't the right kind of tool for you. But now as we get out here, so this is definitely saying summer, so I don't have to put in the entire tree. In fact, it won't look good if I do that. So what I'm going to do now that I have the trunk established, and I'm just going to put some branches out there, like this. And the closer they are to the trunk, the thicker they will be. Like these suckers over here will be nice and thick, and here. But now as we get out here, I wanted one to come out this way, didn't I? I wanted one down here. I want one down here. Kind of reaching out this way. As I was saying, you don't need to show everything. I think that's good enough, actually. Now we'll make leaf color and fill in all of those spots. So you're going to want to mix up some colors of green and some color, and again vary it. And here is where you're going to want to do no blobs. Right here is where you could just really muck the picture. So what you want to do is have different levels of use of it. So I know that this has to be thick for me, right in here. But I'm not going to put in a blob. I'm going to put in just like a little shape, and have the side facing to the right be more sunny, more light, more yellow. I need more yellow in that color. See? But and another thing you can do, which is really fun, is to have nearly complete blue and put it in really thin like that. So you put in this blue. This is where like there might be a big shadow shape right in here. And then scrape out, okay? And so you want this dark blue spot. So that's a deep shadow of the tree that the leaves are causing. And what we're gonna do is work around that blue space. We're gonna make another one somewhere else that relates to that one. So where's a good place to put a shadowy, high density leaf place? Right here, I think. That's where a lot of leaves have congregated and have created this little deep space area. And we need another one, maybe in here. So those are areas of deep, very tight foliage. Now we're going to build off and around that. And just because there's no branches around doesn't mean there aren't leaves there. It just means the leaves are covering those branches. You don't want any big splotchy things, so you got to watch for that. You don't want the same shape everywhere. You have to watch for that too. So this, I think, is the most tricky part of the painting, but I could be wrong. Everyone has a different tricky part, right? For me, this is the tricky part. So when you use a knife to apply paint, you will use a lot more paint than if you use a brush. And if you prefer to use a brush, let me show you how to do this using a brush instead of a knife, because maybe that's your thing. Or maybe you want to mix it up and do both. So, hang on, I need more paint though, before I can show you the brush way. There's many ways of applying you can put it on thickly, like this. You can put it on very thinly. And typical rule of thumb is if you're using a dark color, you want to put it on more thin. And if you're using a light color, you want to put it on more thick. But that's just convention. You do what you want. This is art. Yes? To be quite honest, I feel like this shadow should be a darker color of blue to really make it look deep into there. Yeah, I like that better. And I need it to go down here too, to really show that that is a deep hole. But I think this needs to get developed more to have this be deeper. And this probably needs a thicker branch, because that's quite a bit of foliage for that little branch to hold up. So but now it looks chunky and it stops. So this needs to keep going. Here's where I'd probably want to step back and take a look at how things are going. But my camera's in the way. This is too flat here. We need to come down. Yeah. This is too piecey out here. It needs unification. Trees will have some, what's it called, sky holes in them, but this tree has a few too many for the size of tree it is. At least the way it looks like to me. Now the only thing we haven't put in yet is this silver color. And I think I only want to put it in some areas. Very sparingly. What do you think? Where else would you put this color? Maybe right in here. So, I just had to run my daughter to an appointment, and I'm back, and I'm looking at this for the first time, and well, not the first time, but looking at it with fresh eyes, and I noticed that this needs to be a whole lot thicker, because look at all this mass is coming out of this tiny little branch. It needs to be more like the main trunk. So we're gonna add to this by quite a bit. And I might want to put in like a little, like that. And this also needs to get a little beefier here and through here. I think it needs to get even bigger up in here. And then I feel like these need to connect somehow. I am just taking back that horizon line so it's not so sharp. You want it to kind of be fadey and distant-y and yeah. So I just want to show you how to clean your palette when you're done. If you are putting your, if you're going to be painting again very soon, in the next day or two, here's what I would recommend. You take all your light colors and you mix them together. Put them up here in a pile. Oh, sorry, I have to wipe this first because this had some wet paint earlier. So, light colored paint right there in a pile. Then dark colored paint. Right there in a pile. Then all the rest of this, you can just take a paper towel and rub it. You want to get the paint off of it. There shouldn't be a whole lot of paint left on the palette. Just this little residue from what the palette knife couldn't get. And so then you just kind of rub it in. It actually is good for the wood, the palette. Over years of doing this, the patina builds up and the coloring becomes more and more neutralized. And the wood becomes more and more oiled. It's really fun to go into an oil painter who's been painting for 20, 30 years on the same palette and just see that thing. It's just a work of art. It's beautiful. These colors I'll leave right there because I hope to paint soon. But I'm just going to put a squirt of clove oil on my little paper towels. You don't want to get any of the oil in the paint because then that paint will never dry. But if you just get it near it, the essential oil, the aromatic part of it, will keep these paints from drying out as fast. Here's my medium cup. I want to make sure that's closed up so it doesn't evaporate. So yeah, one of my artist friends has a trick he used back in his teaching days. If the brushes don't get cleaned well enough, he has a solution of, he makes a slurry with, I think it's Dove bar soap that's chunked up into, he kind of cuts it up small and then he soaks water in it for a couple weeks so it turns into a slurry. And then it's like a little brush cleaning slurry. So every brush that you have dipped in paint or something needs to be cleaned. And how clean you get it, it's up to you. So this Gamsol is a bare minimum, but you can take that, what I was talking about earlier, that Dove slurry. You can take brush cleaner. I like that pink brush cleaner. I think it's called Mona Lisa brush cleaner. But then you take that and go under the faucet. So you scrub it. You put a little of that. Here's what I do. You put a little Mona Lisa brush cleaner in your hand. It's that pink stuff. You rub it in and you rinse it out, and you rub it in and you rinse it out. And that is if you're going to not paint very much between brushes. Use. But this I intend to paint here for the next 2 to 3 days, so, oh shoot. Oh well, the nice thing about oil paint is that it dries so slow that even if you make a mistake or either painting or cleaning up or something, as long as you kind of clean it up pretty quickly, you're fine. It is all good. So it's kind of relaxing to know that. I'm putting the lid on my solvent jar, lid on my medium jar. I've got my clove oil there. My palette's all nice and clean. And my paper towels, used paper towels, have been thrown away in an airtight container. And we're good to go. So the painting is done. It just needs to dry. Oil paint takes a few days to dry. It depends on the temperature. If it's chilly, and it is chilly, it's in the winter, it's in my basement or my lower level, and near a window. So it's kind of chilly. It'll probably take a week for this one to dry maybe. If it's warm in a cabin with the wood fire going, it will probably take maybe overnight or 1 or 2 days to dry. You'll want to sign your painting. Always remember not to sign right at the edge. You'll want to come in a little bit, because whatever you frame it with is going to cover up like 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch of the edge. So you don't want to cover up your signature. So usually, typically it's in the lower right hand corner, sometimes it's in the lower left, but you could get creative. There's no art police here. So you could, I've seen people find a place and hide their name somewhere in the painting too. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back next week with urban life paintings. We'll be back to our regular scheduled videos. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Christmas holiday, and I'll see you soon.